Vecchio. Ken, on health care, I get that Republicans want to get rid of all of Obamacare, but what is the political benefit of the president saying, well, let's get rid of it without giving his own party an opportunity to come up with an alternative?
I think first we got to address the threshold issue that the law, and I'm not saying this because I'm hopeful, and I'm not saying it because I'm against Obamacare, because I am against Obamacare, right. But I am saying it because the law is really on the side of Donald Trump here, just really quickly. And it's because the central provision in Obamacare was the tax penalty against the insureds. That was the whole basis why Chief Justice Roberts determined that this law was constitutional. Without it, it's unconstitutional.
All the more reason to have an alternative ready, right?
Here's the alternative. Lower premiums for people, because millions of people are paying higher premiums. Make sure pre-existing conditions are covered. Let people pick their own physicians and don't make it a socialist-type law that it currently is.
You've just gone further now than the Trump White House or the Republicans on Capitol Hill.
I have more.
Ken, maybe you should seek an advisory position there, because Donald Trump saying the Republicans are the party of health care would be like AOC saying the Democrats are the party of guns. It's just not believable. It's really not feasible, because they've never presented a plan. He ran on repeal and replace, and he couldn't repeal, and he had no replacement. And so he's making a political misstep here, whether the law is on his side or not, because too many people are depending on this insurance now. Whether it's flawed or not, they want it.
But when President Trump says something to his voters, and, you know, he knows to deliver. When he makes a threat, he follows through. So his supporters would trust him that he will have a good plan.
Right, Tal. And he has come through, in opposite to what you're saying. He, as part of his tax plan, he got rid of the central part of Obamacare, which was the tax penalty against the uninsured. So he's already come through on that. Now he's further coming through by having the Justice Department file this lawsuit and go in concert with the Texas decision and have the entire law repealed because it is constitution. I do think that he has a plan.
Well, it's like he promised that he was going to build a wall and Mexico would pay for it. That didn't happen.
Well, he is building one.
Yeah.
Okay, furthermore, I think that he likes chaos and acrimony. I don't think, I know. And that works in a real estate deal, but it doesn't work in politics where there are so many players and factors.
But given there are so many landmines with health care, perhaps is it a smart political decision to be generally against Obamacare, see what the courts do, and then if he has to get involved, if the courts do throw this thing out, then you step forward and say, okay, because the moment he invites his plan out there, then it could be torn apart by his own party.
But I think one of the reasons we had a big flop in the Congress was because people were concerned and upset about Trump, and a lot of people voted because they were concerned about health care. So he's making a political misstep. He's not even an ideologue. He just kind of thinks with his raw emotions and adrenal glands, and there's no strategy here.
I know you don't like him, but you're not giving him enough credit that he has been carrying through on his promises. And here's another example of it. The guy is strong-willed, he's got guts, and he fights for what he believes, and he fights for what he's promised.
But
and here he is really presenting.
He said everyone will have insurance.
Yeah, look, Donald Trump.
Which sounds a bit like Medicare for all.
Donald Trump is not only not opposed to seeing everybody get health care, as Tal is saying, he's completely for it. But he's not for a socialist program. He's not for Medicare for all.
Right.
Is he vulnerable, though? Is he vulnerable? Because he said during the midterm campaign that he wants to protect people with pre-existing conditions without having a plan that protects people with pre-existing conditions. The only one that exists right now is Obamacare. So doesn't he run the risk of being charged of hypocrisy or a double cross because he said he supported people with pre-existing conditions, but now there's no alternative for
No. I don't think so at all. And the reason is because his plan is going to be separate and distinct from Obamacare. I don't want that to sound like just some bogus generality, but there are specifics. There are specifics where you can have a plan that covers pre-existing conditions
without the penalty,
where you don't have forced health care on everybody, which is the socialist component of it, where you don't have something where all the other taxpayers pay for everybody else, where you just simply have a plan that covers pre-existing conditions through existing insurance companies that people can buy policies from at lower premiums. That's the difference.
Is that a unicorn he's speaking of?
Yes, but I think Trump's bigger problem, and you alluded to this, is that he could sign his death knell because he could throw himself upon the Congress, and they could be all over him like locusts because he's not going to be prepared. He's going to promise a plan. They may throw a plan down, and he may have
Can
to
I ask you a
accept
question?
it.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
a
Really
legitimate,
briefly.
question? Why can't you have a plan where people go to their own private insurance companies?
I
and the
will answer
insurance
that because
companies
we're
have
out of
to
time.
cover?
The fact is, we do have a plan. President Trump does not have a plan. Maybe he'll take the Vecchio plan and solve his problem, but until then, I'm with Rob. He's got a political issue here. Rob Taub and Vecchio, good to have
to
you
be here.
both. Coming up, a brazen attack on North Korea's embassy in Spain.